This celebrity believed her teacher was gone forever until a moment she never saw coming. Another was performing live, not knowing the person who once guided her was sitting right there in the crowd. No warning, no preparation, just raw, emotional reunions that changed everything. These are the moments celebrities came face to face with their old teachers, starting with this football legend, Wright, who was shocked to see his former teacher, Mr. Pigden, in a stadium after he had previously paid him a visit, thinking he had passed away. It was such an emotional moment that made Wright shed some tears. Wright's reunion was believed to have inspired the recent meeting of this next artist with her old school teacher, Adele. At a November 2021 taping of the live concert, an audience with Adele was speaking about her childhood English teacher, Ms. McDonald, who helped her gain an interest in literature and dance. And to her greatest surprise, Ms. McDonald was in attendance, who was brought out to greet the singer on stage. The pair only had complimentary words for each other. Adele became very emotional, and they both shared a hug. This next celebrity wasn't expecting what she got. Lin-Manuel Miranda. During a 2019 interview with CBS This Morning, Lin got a surprise video message from his 8th grade teacher, Dr. Herbert, who congratulated him on his success as Lin teared up while watching the video. Lin had earlier acknowledged Dr. Herbert was the reason why he was sitting and talking to the host. He added that he wrote a musical instead of doing his homework while at high school, but Dr. Herbert nudged him in the right direction, which changed his life forever. And of course, it was an emotional moment for him. What about this popular American media mogul who met her old teacher and got emotional? Oprah Winfrey. In 1989, Mrs. Duncan, Oprah's 4th grade teacher, visited her at a taping of The Oprah Winfrey Show for an episode that reunited guests with their favorite teachers. In an open emotional statement, Oprah spoke about how she ran home the first day of her 4th grade to tell her dad that she had the best teacher that anybody could have. She also noted that she wanted to be a 4th grade teacher because of Mrs. Duncan. Moved by that statement, Mrs. Duncan came out on stage to join the TV host, which led to some tears being shed by Oprah. You won't believe where this celebrity met her old teacher. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Alexandria had what could be called an unbelievable Twitter reunion with her 2nd grade teacher, Ms. Jacobs, after posting a simple excerpt from a poem by civil rights leader Dr. Benjamin E. Mays in August 2020. At the time, she was preparing for the Democratic National Convention. Alexandria couldn't believe Ms. Jacobs responded to her post, and what started as a normal chat became a moment of sheer joy between the two after a very long time without seeing each other. This next celebrity's old teacher was the one who responded to what she said, and everything went emotional. Kerry Washington. At the Democratic National Convention in August 2020, Kerry mentioned how she memorized the preamble of the U.S. Constitution for a middle school assignment as she spoke about continuing the journey toward equality and quoted the preamble. Unknown to her, Tiff Bluemle, her old 8th grade teacher who assigned the task, was watching the DNC and immediately tweeted about her joy in seeing Kerry's career success and devoted activism. In response, Kerry thanked her for watching and for inspiring her and so many other students. But this next celebrity took things to an entirely different level. Quinta Brunson, Abbott Elementary star and creator. Quinta Brunson named a series after Ms. Abbott, her real-life 6th grade teacher, and was taken by surprise when Ms. Abbott surprised her with a virtual visit when she was at Jimmy Kimmel Live in February 2022, causing both women to get emotional as they reunited. After a brief compliment between the pair, Jimmy then surprised Ms. Abbott with a 5-day trip for her and a guest to celebrate her upcoming retirement. The meeting between this next celebrity and his old teacher is just so warm. Tyrese Gibson. Tyrese cited his high school music teacher, Reggie Andrews, as a mentor to him in an Access Hollywood interview from 2019. He recalled how Mr. Reggie would drive him to class so as to avoid walking through rough parts of his neighborhood, as he was not having much to pay for a bus ride at that time, thanking him for being a father that he never had. Reggie then came out to surprise Tyrese and the two embraced. Reggie described his memories of Tyrese being a determined young student. This next celebrity did what others may not have done. Tony Hale. In what appeared to be an unforgettable moment, Tony brought his former drama teacher, Tina, with him on the red carpet of the 2018 SAG Awards. Tony acknowledged that it was because of her former drama teacher that he's made it to that point. Responding to his words, Tina said Tony is a wonderful talent, and they were sure he would be somewhere like this. What about this tennis star meeting her old teacher? Venus Williams. In 2017, Venus reunited with her first grade teacher, Judy Vellegas, for the California Lottery's hashtag Thank a Teacher campaign in celebration of Teacher Appreciation Month. Judy showed Venus her class photos saved from the 1986 to 1987 school year and said she always knew Venus would go far. In a show of love and affection, Venus in turn gave Judy a framed tennis racket with a handwritten note as a present to remember the occasion. This next celebrity even went an extra mile. Stephen Colbert, who visited his favorite teacher from the 4th grade, Miss Katsos, now known as Mrs. Keelan, in the same classroom she taught him in at Stiles Point Elementary in South Carolina. During their heartwarming chat, he called her his teacher of teachers, and she called him one of the brightest students she's ever taught. And this next celebrity just got a huge one. Hugh Jackman. Hugh surprised his former acting teacher, Chris Edmund, in 2014 for a campaign with MasterCard. Chris was flown from Australia to New York City and was told the trip was for a masterclass for aspiring young actors. During the class, Hugh emerged to greet Chris and thank him for his influence on his path as an actor. Hugh then said that in partnership with MasterCard, the Chris Edmund Performing Arts Scholarship had been established to give aid to aspiring actors. This next celebrity is a world-renowned boxer, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad was surprised with a video message from his 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Carter, in an archived interview clip from the series This Is Your Life. Mrs. Carter became a director for the YWCA after teaching Muhammad and thanked him for a $10,000 check he wrote to the nonprofit on top of visiting for an in-person YWCA event where he gave a speech. After the video ended, Mrs. Carter went on the show in person and gave Muhammad a warm embrace. This celebrity just became a standard because of what he did. J.J. Watt. In 2017, NFL player J.J. Watt visited his 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Keefe, when she was nearing her retirement after 41 years of teaching. J.J. also brought her new shoes and cake and offered her a paid trip to Houston. Mrs. Keefe then told her 4th grade students that J.J. is an example of what they can accomplish. And what happens when a prince gets to meet his old teacher? Prince Harry. In 2015, Prince Harry encountered his former teacher, Vicky McBratney, while visiting New Zealand. Prince Harry was shocked to have met her. Meanwhile, Vicky had previously spoken about how she was a supportive mentor for Harry, as she met him right after the death of his mother, Princess Diana. At their reunion, Vicky also introduced Harry to her kids and husband, who stood alongside her. This next celebrity actor gave his old teacher a role in a movie. Darren Aronofsky. Darren cast his 7th grade teacher, Vera Freed, in 2 small roles in his 2014 film Noah. His earliest ideas for the film emerged when Vera had students write a poem about peace for an assignment, and Darren wrote an adaptation of the biblical tale. But while the Oscar-nominated director was at the box office, his old teacher, who inspired him to write his Noah's Ark-themed poem about peace, was invited to the New York premiere of the film, and only ET's cameras captured their surprise red carpet reunion. Darren said Vera inspired him in the 7th grade to become a writer. He also included a dedication to Vera in his Noah book adaptation from the same year. Dwayne Johnson. The movie star had faced massive struggles growing up, moving constantly, dealing with financial hardship, and nearly losing direction. But through it all, one teacher never gave up on him. Years later, already a global superstar, Johnson returned and reconnected with that teacher, Carl, the one who saw something in him before the fame. The moment wasn't loud or dramatic, just pure respect and gratitude. You could see it in his eyes. This wasn't just a reunion, it was a full circle moment. But while Johnson went back to say thank you, the next story is about someone who never forgot where she came from and made sure the world didn't either. Rihanna. Before she became a global icon, Rihanna was just a schoolgirl in Barbados with big dreams and a teacher who believed in her talent early on. As her fame skyrocketed, Rihanna didn't leave that chapter behind. She returned, reconnecting with her former teacher, John Maputla, sharing laughs, memories, and appreciation. It wasn't staged or flashy, just genuine love from a student who made it to the teacher who helped her start. And if Rihanna's story shows gratitude, the next one proves just how powerful a teacher's show of kindness can return back to them in a surprising way. Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen DeGeneres built a career making people laugh, but this time, the moment hit much deeper. On her show, Ellen invited a woman who had no idea what was about to happen. As the story unfolded, it became clear. This wasn't just any guest. It was her former teacher, Kelly Klein, the person who had encouraged her long before the spotlight ever found her. The surprise was instant. Shock turned into emotion, and just like that, years disappeared. Teacher and student, face to face again, but this time with a lifetime of success in between them. Michelle Obama. Long before the White House, Michelle Obama was a young student navigating her path with teachers who pushed her to aim higher. In a heartfelt reunion, she reconnected with one of those educators, reflecting on the impact they had on her confidence and ambition. It wasn't just nostalgia, it was acknowledgement, a reminder that behind one of the most influential women in the world was a teacher who helped shape her voice. And in the end, beyond the fame, the lights, and the applause, these moments remind us of something deeper. Someone believed in them first, and that never fades. If this touched you, like, share, and subscribe, and tell us what moment in which teacher inspired you most.